welcome to Brian's Board. Let's talk about vesting schedules for founders. Startup environment is stressful with limited resources, and among those resources are the co-founders. The co-founders are compensated through ownership via stocks, and it's important to know there can be unpredictability around the co-founders. Will they stick around long enough to help the company succeed? One way of dealing with this is through vesting. Vesting makes ownership conditional. It requires the founders to perform and stick around for a certain period of time in order to earn their shares. And vesting is articulated through something called a vesting schedule. So this timeline or safety net basically defines how and when stocks will be doled out over time. And it not only incentivizes the co-founders, it's something the company might need or will need probably if it is going to seek investment capital. Investors want to know that the founders are going to stick around to help the company grow. They want some sense of security for their equity. Let's look at the whiteboard to talk more about vesting schedules. Here I'm showing a typical scenario for a startup. Basically, vesting plays out over a 4-year period, and there is at the very beginning, that first year, something called a cliff. And during the cliff, the founder doesn't earn any shares. They're not vested at all. They have to prove themselves in that first year. After that first year is done and the second year starts, then the founder has earned 25% of their total shares. Going forward, vesting occurs or accrues on a monthly basis. So as you move from year 2 to year 3 to year 4, every month the founder is vested a little bit more. At the end of year 2, they have 50% of their shares vested. And finally, by the end of the 4th year, they have 100% of their shares vested. And it can get more complicated than this, of course. Founders often contribute long before the company is incorporated, so there might be some kind of combination of some shares with a cliff and some not. There's acceleration that can happen in vesting if the company is sold. So lots of things can happen that make this a little more complicated. The idea is, though, that vesting as part of a more comprehensive founders agreement helps the business avoid mess around the co-founders at such an important early stage. This has been Brian's Board with CTC.